let's get started. Delighted to be with you this afternoon and talk about these learning technologies and how they can increase or accelerate the speed to proficiency, right? Before we get straight into this topic, I would like to share with you a story from last week. You know, we have our R&D team in China, and very often we share stories and trends across regions. And I've asked our CTO a very specific questions about Chinese people, and the question was how Chinese people manage to catch up so rapidly with skills and competencies. And his answer, our CTO, was a blast for me. He said basically, Chinese people, they use all their free time, breaks or spare time to learn, self-learn, using all sort of digital support. Could be a video, could be e-learning on their smartphones or LMS. And I said, wow, this is the future of learning. Are we there yet here? Not really. I think we are, trends are emerging, but we still have some progress to do or to get learners to move forward and be very proactive in learning. So this was a story about, as an intro for the topic of the day. We are very excited at Learning Tribes to present a handful of these learning technologies. But just to make sure we are on the same page, technologies will never replace human. Actually, we believe at Learning Tribes that human represents the future of technology. And the intent of this presentation is to obviously share with you some of the best practices that we are working on. So it's live demo, live showcase, but also get you to maybe find the right balance between technology and human in this learning journey. I'd like to start by this statement. I find it very, very interesting, a bit provocative coming from the CEO of a global operator. You could say, I mean, it's commercial to say that, but we are already there, at least in the learning. We see digitalization coming and growing, at least in the US and Asia. It's very obvious. It's digital first. Europe, it's more in the 50-50 region, but definitely every day it's growing, and we are meeting customers asking for digitalizing content when it comes to learning. The top trends we are observing are numerous. You can see that it's going from social learning, mobile learning, content curation. A lot is about digitalizing. We, at Learning Tribes, we believe that we can sum these trends with three prerequisites or three criteria. The first one is learner experience. Learner experience for us is kind of a continuation of customer experience. It's the fact that we believe there is no one single way of learning, no one size fits all. We believe that some are very comfortable in the classroom, some prefer to visualize e-learning, some prefer to do, play, or just listen. So at last, now our customers are telling us, we are expecting you to design with us a multiple paths of learning. That's the first one, learner experience. The second one, very close to this one, is data. And we are talking about learning analytics. It's about telling us what's working well in terms of learning module and the ones that are not working so well. But it's also in the future being able to individualize learning modules and individualizing at scale. That's the second one, data. And the last one, digital, is coming from retail, but we believe that building a successful learning program is about removing the barrier between when I learn, when I play, when I'm listening, when I'm at home, at work, or traveling. So this is coming big time, and it makes the job of an L&D manager very, very tough. If we want to dig into CX world, it's even more visible. Obviously, times is accelerating, the cycle times of handling a customer request, but also the fact that the agent have to understand service and products, and obviously being very emotional. So it makes the job of an agent very, very complex, probably the most complex job when it comes to interacting with a customer. If we want to add complexity to that, we believe that there are clear expectations. Whenever you want to build a successful training program, you have to understand that now learners are interacting not only with the teacher, but with their community. Training is becoming more and more a social activity. So that's the first element, social animals. The second one is, yes, they have greater technical expertise and knowledge. So you have to also adapt your learning approach more into the doing, the making, than the telling. And the third one is the fact that they can assimilate quicker at least knowledge. Competency is another thing, but at least knowledge. So that's the good news of their expectations. At the same time, they can be very easily distracted. We see that in our experience that they are in a multitasking mode. I mean, that's a very challenging aspect of the learning experience. The second thing is they are very impatient, especially when the training content is too generic. So we are very much challenged with the quality, with the fact that we have to deliver specific content, real job information to the learners. And the last one is, we call it versatile. We believe that they are very much changing opinions and ideas, especially for the ones that are very much connected with their social community. So that's adding a lot of complexity, and the question is, how do we build a perfect learning program? We have rules, not recipe, rules. The first one is, obviously, we have to use their own channels. So, and when we speak about their own channels, it's about the channels they are using to interact. So we are talking about messaging, social media, Facebook in particular, Facebook Messenger, and WeChat in China. We will go back to that. Obviously, shorter, so spaced, ideally gamified. That's very important. And also thinking about what's happening outside of a company, outside of my immediate situation. So content curation is very, very important. Very high qualitative formats and specific, very specific, like I said, and very close to their real world situation. So this is not rules, but at least what we believe are the prerequisites of a very successful learning path. So this is kind of a high-level introductions of the learning technology, how they can serve the speed to competency. And now we are very excited to showcase some of the technologies that we are working on. But again, just to make sure that we are on the same page, we are not betting on one technology more than the other. Our conviction, our belief is technology serve emotions, serve empathy. So you have to pick and choose the right technology, but you have to embed these technology into a wider learning transformation in your company. The first one, we've talked about it in the last track session with MyMOOC and also in the morning with onboarding. It's the first technology is MOOC, so it's massive open online content. So it's usually free. It lasts between 15 minutes and a few hours, and it's available from any connected content. For Sitel, we have designed a specific MOOC for one specific purpose, recruitment. And the result was very impressive. Thousands of applicants throughout the world, 1,000 in Europe, ended up to hiring 300 in Europe specifically. So the ratio from 3 to 1, more or less, are much higher. And this has helped definitely the speed to competency, because the applicants who eventually got to be hired by Sitel were more prepared, more ready, and at the end, it had a very positive impact on the attrition rate. So the first technology, MOOC, it's called CX 101, and we can showcase this full content downstairs if you want, but the teaser is also available on YouTube if you want to dig into that. Mobile learning is definitely a key trend. Obviously, it's reaching people where they are with a specific content, so shorter content, and this is exactly what Air France has asked Learning Tribe to design. We've been very happy to support the Marco initiative for the ground agent. It was about 4,000 agents, and it was about 50 tutorials, very short tutorials from 30 to 40 seconds with a variety of support. Could be role play, could be tutorials, could be testimonials. So we've been involved into this whole transformation of the airplane company, and it's moving as we talk. We are on phase 2 of this program that we've launched about 2 years ago. So the mobile learning for ground agent. But like I said at the beginning, going mobile is also about using the channels of the learners. And the idea here is to add a social activity on top of the fact that you can access to content on your mobile. And this is exactly what L'Oréal has asked Learning Tribe to develop. It was at the beginning a question of replicating a full platform on WeChat, and to be able to have the beauty agents, not to move from one channel to the other, but consulting their messages, liking messages, but at the same time, or the second after, being able to consult a learning content on their mobile. So we are very excited because we've finished the first phase, so reaching 3,000 beauty agents, and in the next months, it's going to be up to 7,000 beauty agents on WeChat for L'Oréal in China. So very, very excited, and a very good success for our colleagues in China. But mobile is not, the answer for everything, and we may want to push to our learners some, pre-selected and secure content. And still be fun and add some engaging content. And this is the purpose of LXP, Learning Experience Platform. It's kind of the evolution of the LMS. And the design, the purpose of the LXP is again to provide some very gamified content, fun, engaging, on a path, right? Secure path, so you pre-select some content, but also you provide tons of analytics to your learners, but also for the L&D. So this is what we've done for Sitel. We've deployed Tribu for Sitel over the last two years, and we've went up to 350,000 hours of learning that we offer to the Sitel associates on the ground and the headquarters. So more than a speech, here's a video. Right. So Tribu is our LXP, and we can continue the discussions downstairs. We have a full demo available for you if you want to dig into that. But that's our new baby. We've launched the last version, and it's continuously evolving. As you can see, we are very much betting on the challenges and the social activity that we believe are really critical to engage the learners and speed their learning curve. All right, VR now. This is the fifth technology, and VR is a buzzword. I mean, it's everywhere. For us, VR are two benefits. The first one, in learning, VR brings immersion. The difference between VR and an e-learning program, for example, is that you are in the media. You're not outside. So, and we've read and had a look to what Walmart did in the US over the last 2 years with VR when it comes to memorizing and anchoring of knowledge. And it's proving to be very efficient, between 20 to 30% more ability to memorize. So this is our first focus, is to be able to get the learners into the media, into their company, their new company. Those are the first benefits. But we wanted to go further, and this is why we have done a partnership with Pitch Boy, a company we are working on currently with a telco operator in France, to add something else. And we are adding artificial intelligence with VR. And this is what the sequence behind me was telling you, basically, is you are a new agent. You are working for a telecompany or a retail store, and you may want to develop your ability to handle requests, to ask exploring questions. So you will just wear the mask and interact with a dummy customer, an actor, which would have been pre-recorded according to some specific themes. Could be angry customer, could be premium customer, and that way you develop your ability to simulate the right wordings, the right behaviors. So that's where we are. That's what we would like to bring to the market, because again, we believe that the two benefits of VR are the immersion part, but also the capacity for an agent, for a salesperson to simulate and speed up his proficiency in some very specific and difficult situations like angry customers and premium customers. So this is our demo. And for CX situations in particular, we are still with Pitch Boy working on a specific scenario. And the pitch of this scenario is, as you can see, imagine your trainer is a robot. It means that you as an agent, you would just have to click on the link, and you end up to have a discussions over the phone, not with a real customer, but with a pre-recorded voice, which actually is playing the role of, again, some customers that are requesting something very specific that you have to handle. So this is where we are with VR. It's called Voice VR, and we believe this is one of the future of the speed to competency in the CX environment, is to be able to develop self-coaching, self-learning, not replacing the coach, obviously, but to develop the ability to monitor your own learning curve. So more to come, but available for your question if you want to dig into that. So these were the 5 examples, obviously not complete, but the 5 examples of our learning technologies we are working on. As you can see, these technologies are very grounded. We are currently deploying it or pursuing these technology with existing customers. And this is what we are. Learning Tribes, we are a professional of expert in professional training with a consulting mindset. And we look at what's happening across the world, in China, in America, and in Europe, to pick the right technology and deliver them to our customer, but with one obsession, is the learner experience. Not the technology for the sake of the technology, but to increase and engage the learner in their learning journey. And to achieve that, and that will be my last slide, we've built a learning and development lab with a few technologies, with content creation, with MyMOOC, but also Tribu, you've seen that, and with the WeChat and Messenger learning. And the last baby we are working on is the VR capability with the telco customer, like I said. So this is it. So thank you very much.